Welcome to the Golf Quest. I'm your co-host, Scott Hartman.
And I'm Chris Hartman. From Pinehurst to Shinnecock Hills, we played a lot of golf together, including completing the top 100 golf courses in the world.
We've met some great people during our journey, and we're excited to share those stories with you. And now,
the Golf Quest. Hey everyone, welcome to the Golf Quest. I'd like to welcome our guests today, Chris Hobson and Bill Stein. Thanks for joining us. And it's been a great time we've had with both of you at a lot of different courses, and we've all got some pretty good logos that we're rocking today, I think, or have behind you. Maybe you're in a locker room, maybe you're at home. I can't really tell. Maybe that's your office.
Yeah.
What's everyone got going today?
Well, let's see. We got Bill. I'll name you. Do the hats, and I'll do the shirts. We've got Country Club of York. We got Tori Pines. We got La Quinta. We got Hualalai, the Four Seasons in Hualalai on the Big Island.
Oh yeah.
Chris will absolutely remember Palmilla. And we've got Caves from a shirt perspective.
Yeah, from a hat perspective, we got Pebble Beach, Hualalai. Chris, I don't know what that
That's
is.
Olympic Club.
Olympic Club. We got Cypress Point, Stream Song, and Nenaya. And the shirt I'm repping is our little Dominican Republic trip at Casa.
Oh, okay.
The dog.
We'll get to a few of those here in a minute. So, like I said, we've had some really great times with you guys. We have some matches. Chris, you and my dad are always against me and Bill, and generally end up on the wrong side of things. So, it's a pretty well-known thing. Is that true, Bill?
It's just a fact.
There's a dispute there. I just want to call that out. I think Mr. Hartman, the good-looking one, he'll recall many, many times we're winning these things at the very end, right, Scott?
we are. They just talk louder than we do.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's pretty mean that he wore a logo that we didn't play with you guys on, but I wore my Nenaya logo here, which, if you remember, we saw some guy named Steve Kerr there is the only other group, so that was a pretty fun trip. And then I had to wear a little American Express here. Shout out to Pat McCabe for letting us play in that, and that's a great time. But Bill, since you are my partner,
Hey, you didn't ask me about my logo.
Yeah, I don't really care.
Got you down already?
I said you're wearing Cypress. You didn't even play it with them.
Well, they were there in spirit. They were there in spirit. They were over at the municipal course, Pebble Beach.
We can see you guys on one hole. You're just, a couple hundred yards down yonder.
It's a struggle sometimes, isn't it, Chris? Well, since I was rudely interrupted by my dad, I'll start here, Bill. Since you're my partner, and I'm going to let you have the floor first, since we are, I think, reigning national and international champions of our group.
That's correct.
First of all, how's that feel? How does that feel to be international and national champions?
I'd say normal. That's the word that comes to mind. It just becomes habit. It's what's the matter, Scott?
Do you have a trophy? You didn't give him the trophy, did you? I think we still have the original trophy of champions, and if you don't have it, you don't have it.
I don't even remember you guys winning. That's the hardest part.
Huh. I do.
Well, we've already mentioned a few of the great spots: Tori Pines, Teeth of the Dog, Palmilla, Caves, etc. Bill, what's your favorite course that we played?
Oh, I'd probably say Teeth of the Dog. Just, we talked about Pebble Beach a little bit, and that's gorgeous, but I was shocked at just the amount of oceanside holes and the view of the Dominican Republic. It was just breathtaking.
Yeah. How are you, Chris?
I'm a Fazio guy, and I love going to Caves, and I love going to the quarry. To me, those kind of, I know they're on opposite ends of the country, but I just love both those tracks. And every time we go there, we always have a great time.
That's good. You don't have to worry, Chris. You're always invited to Caves.
Man, you're just really, buttering him up here, Chris. I know he's your partner, but come on.
Hey, it's all about CV, buddy.
Well, those are some great spots. Dad, what's your favorite one that we've done together?
You know what? There have been so many cool spots, but I will say Nenaya was one of those where you're at the hotel, the Four Seasons down at the ocean, and you look up the mountain, and you can't see any golf course. I mean, it just looks like volcanic rock. And then the guys told us, "Hey, you just go right out the entrance and straight up that mountain. You see that road going up there?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's how you get there." Yeah, so we went up there, and all of a sudden, you're in the middle of a golf course in volcanic rock, looking down on the Four Seasons and all of it, and it's a wonderful design. Very quiet course, both in hardly gets any play, but also just a lot of golfers don't know anything about Nenaya, and they're missing out on an amazing golf course design, amazing views, and it plays nicely too. So we didn't have any excuses. I think we whooped them there, didn't we, Chris?
You probably carried us on that one. I remember me having a rough day, but I remember Steve Kerr, when we went in, and he talked about the Mai Tais, and I think I had a couple of those, and so it was a good day nonetheless.
Yeah, he gave us a pep rally, I think.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
We won.
Yeah, I don't recall the victory, and in fact, since your partner doesn't, it probably is untrue.
Well, the real thing for you is if they don't have the scorecard, they didn't win. I know that because he's going to pop out a scorecard here later and try to talk about all his wins, but he throws away the ones they lose. So that's always.
I don't throw them away; they just don't exist.
Yeah, they don't exist in his mind. It never happened.
You guys
never happened.
Remember the 18th hole at Tori Pines, right?
What?
You know what? That was a classic. That was a classic. That was
one of our two classics.
That was right around. Who was it? Tiger that made that shot on 18 there, the putt, or was it Rahm or Rose? Who made that long putt there? And that was like the year before we went there, I think.
No, you're going way back in time. No, that was a different year, but Tiger had played before, and then Rahm won it. Tiger was probably 8 years before, and I think Rahm was probably about 8 years after, somewhere around there. But that Tori was an awesome spot too, and we had a great time there. I think that was that our first match?
I think it was
one of our first.
It set the stakes right there. Yeah,
we had a great little. We stayed at a great little place, and yeah, I do remember that. I think Chris had to get on in 2 on that par 5, which he was able to do, and we were like, Hartman, Scott, and I were not cheering against him. We just weren't rooting on. Okay.
We were like, hit the water, and then next thing you know, he hits the green, and then
we're like, oh.
Yeah.
I don't know what my dad cheering for me feels like, so I just assume that he's always against me because that's relatively true about 99% of the time.
Hey, especially in golf. Are we competitive guys? Have you ever seen Chris and I be competitive?
There's not a lot of gimmies when it gets serious, I could say that.
That's true.
Well, I'll tell you, I think one of the ones that maybe we forget about a little bit too is TPC San Antonio. Do you guys remember that one?
We'd like to.
When you said it, I remembered it now because that was a tough day out there.
That was the roughest day of golf I've ever seen 4 people play when it didn't feel like we played that badly.
Yeah, but shot 100.
No one in our group, broke 100, which is incredible. I remember coming in, I was like a 7 handicap or something at the time. I just shot 79. I'm like, oh man, we're gonna tear this place up. I think I hit like 12 fairways and shot 101.
Yeah, it was windy and cold, and
and we were all like, who's gonna win this match? Who's gonna win this match? And I think the answer was, we're all lost.
Yep. Robert was with us the day before, right, and shot like 78.
Robert Perkins had a great day at that, whatever that La Cañada, whatever. Yeah.
But a couple others, at least one other that I want to talk about is, it's a course called Palma in Mexico.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not a lot of folks listening have heard of it. It's a nice public course there near Cabo.
That's a mini putt course down there, isn't it?
Oh no, it's definitely not. It's a very serious championship level course where I did happen to keep the scorecard from that one.
Oh, really?
And it's one that we now like to refer to as where we had the double eagle hole, and that's not referring to a double eagle happening. It's a hole where two eagles happened on the same hole, and it may be hard to see here, but it actually happened. You can see the two double circles there. And let's set the stage here, Bill. Why don't you set us up? What happened that day?
I mean, for what I recall, it was we were out of the gate strong. We had a big.
You guys were out of the gate strong.
For them to press on 9 says a lot, right? And so I had the privilege of playing Palma the day prior. And there were 3 palm trees about 320 yards out, I believe. And I told you to hit to the center one and aim straight at it. I don't think the ball ever lost line of that second tree. And then Scott and I we were golf cart mates, and so we hit our shots from a ways back. And by the time we
were over on the hill in the tall grass trying to find probably both our balls.
By the time we got up to Chris, he had already fired away. And they were celebrating on the green. That's what I remember.
Yeah,
and a little bit. Yeah, well, Chris, why don't you tell your side of the story?
Yeah, there's story here because I remember my partner. I thought somebody had run him over with a golf cart. The scream that he left out was horrendous.
Something like that. But I remember like a dog leg, a right hole, maybe 400 yards. The only buddy that could carry the junk was young Chris. So we all kind of shot left. I hit a pretty good drive. Chris hammered it, like you said. And the group trusts each other so much that we split golf carts. So
yeah, a lot of love in this group.
There's no foot wedges or anything like that. So I get to my ball, and I'm like, okay, and it was like a 115 shot. And Chris was with me, and he's cheering against me. And I hit it perfect. I go, man, that's pretty good. And we kind of look at each other, and I go, I think that went in. And so Chris is quiet because he's can't believe that might have went in. And he zooms up to just ignores his ball and goes and looks, and we can't see it on the green. It's in. So he knows he's got to make the shot. So he drives back to his ball, which is, I think he said 28 yards out. So that's the kind of drive.
Yep, that's correct. 28 yards. And, you had me
we were
here wondering what to do.
We won it, and then somehow Chris hit like a squirrel, and the ball went in, and something like that. No, it was a pure shot, and one bouncer in the hole, and on top of another eagle. It was amazing, and I fell on the ground and was in disbelief. It was so awesome.
That's right. And if I remember correctly, Bill, we jumped high enough that we were at least like 6 to 8 feet in the air. We were showing basketball players how to jump higher.
Yeah, I just remember the oxygen was thin up there. It was very Mickelson-like.
for our chest bump there to cap off a tie on that hole, and then that really set the stage for that match, if I remember correctly. Is that true, Bill?
That was the international championship.
That was. And was that the last time we played this match?
Well, let's see. Was it?
I don't know. Was it Teeth of the Dog after that, I think?
No, it would have been. That was the last one.
Well,
yeah, it was December 22.
Well,
that's right.
There's a whole other country called Ireland. We could do this again.
Yeah, December 14th of 22. So yeah, that was that was a while ago. So we've got some matches coming up here in Ireland, don't we?
We do.
Okay. Well, hopefully, you guys are ready for that. Have you been working on your golf games at all?
I
will say this guy is in good shape to go to Ireland.
I got some work to do.
I've been working a little bit.
We're working. Get the ball way farther. We're playing a lot of golf. Everything we talk about this summer is going to be about preparing for Ireland. So we're trying to keep our shots low, playing bad weather. And luckily we're in Texas where that's kind of typical. So we'll see what happens.
Is that more sea bass or Johnny Eagle, Bill?
It'll be Johnny Eagle this time. I think that's who's going to go to Ireland. It's a good spot for him.
He's talking in the third person now.
Johnny Eagle will bring his Texas wedge.
Yeah. Oh, he putts out of the bunker, so it's going to be perfect for Ireland.
That is true. I did hear a story about a putt out of a bunker at Calusa Pines that apparently is infamous down there now.
So it's the birdie putt. That's what they call that.
The birdie putt.
Yeah.
The birdie bunker.
I'm looking forward to sharing it with you both.
I can't wait to hear the caddies talking about you when you pull your putter out in a bunker in Ireland.
Oh. I think it's out of the country.
Well, so you guys all mentioned Teeth of the Dog too. We're talking international courses, and that's a favorite I think of everyone on this podcast here today. What was your favorite part about that? What made it so special to you guys?
I like when we kind of during the round we had a great time, but even post the round we had a community house and barbecue, listen to music, and talk about the round and good cocktails. I thought it was a great experience all the way around.
Yeah, I think if you just think about the timing of that, it was one of the worst times in my life. Yeah. It was the Delta variant was at an all-time high. They had just moved the travel to 24 hours. Here we are in a foreign country, all of us having a great time, and it was risky but very rewarding.
And if you remember, it was like a week or two before Christmas, and if we had to get tested to leave the country, and if we tested positive, we were stuck for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, we were all at the end. We were like, our whole, we had like 3 of our executives there. We're like, we're going to get stuck in this country, and we're going to have to figure out how to take care of somebody to get out of here. So, luckily, we all tested negative, and we were able to get out of there.
It was highly unlikely we'd get to stay in the houses we were in and play unlimited golf.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I always thought the biggest risk, of this group on the golf course was me getting hit by my dad with a golf ball. But, at that point it was COVID. So, we did survive though. And that was, and that was great. What, you have something to add over there?
Getting hit by one of my golf balls? You're never standing in the middle of the fairway. You'll never get hit by my golf balls.
Yeah, you're not.
I thought you were going to say I'm too far in front of you.
Yeah, I love that place down there. I mean, you fly into Dominican and you drive for about an hour to get out there, and the next thing you know, you're like in a different world. I mean, that's an amazing spot with riding around in golf carts. Being able to rent homes there that were just great places to stay when you're recovering from your golf rounds. The food was the best island food I could find anywhere. I still tell people that you can't find better food there. And then the golf, you had the 2 golf courses we played. The one that was to die for. Remember that? To die for. Great. Yeah, up on the mountain there, and we played through a couple thunderstorms that came through. The Hartmans, if we don't have crazy weather somewhere, then you're not with the Hartmans because it just follows us around like a cloud. So, I remember being up there and, just pouring down, and the next thing you know, we're back out playing, and that was up in the mountain area, right. And then, ravines down to the river, to the ocean. And very different than going down and playing Teeth of the Dog. But Teeth of the Dog, 13 holes by the water, something like that.
2 days in a row, too.
What's that?
And that was the benefit. That's one thing I learned on the top 100 from you, is you said, I remember you calling me and saying, hey, you got to book back-to-back tee times because you never know what kind of weather you're going to run into. And we ran into 2 beautiful days on Teeth of the Dog.
That is one of the Hartman rules. You don't want to miss a great top 100 course, and if you can schedule 2 rounds in a row, odds are you'll get one good day. And hey, you listened to me, Bill. That was great. Usually, you just tell me to get the heck out, get away from you.
That's on the course.
Oh, okay. I was wondering. Okay, yes, because that was just. The weather there was extraordinary. It was probably 80 degrees, sunny, 10-mile-an-hour winds. What did we have to blame our golf games on there? Probably the night before.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Cocktails.
That was such a cool spot. And, I just think about some of those golf holes where you're hitting over the ocean and you've got very little room to work with, and you got to hit some really good golf shots. And what the views are incredible. The wind was up when we were playing it, and it was an interesting time. And playing in December is always nice for us up here in Pennsylvania. We don't do that here, so that was a lot of fun. I was just thinking about a couple other things that we've got.
Hey, hold on one second.
Yeah.
You talked about the COVID tests.
Yeah.
That was the only place that I can remember that when I took my COVID test, I put in $20 in the tip jar as well, right after the COVID test. I think we all did saying, I think we need a tip because if we don't get out of here.
I was holding it like this until we made eye contact, and then I dropped it.
We had 20, but we had hundreds below the 20. Right. Work out.
You're trying to figure out what the right number was. But coming back stateside, we mentioned Country Club of York too, and we played I think a couple times with you guys there. We were supposed to play, last year for our golf outing and couldn't make that work. But you guys have played there a few times with us, haven't you?
Yep.
And it's in great shape this year. Donald Ross course up here in York. So I mean, we're probably gonna have to have another match, up here to just let us win on my home turf, Bill. Just to remind them.
Hey, Bill, I found some more golf clubs. They could belong to you. I'm not sure. I think the last time you played, you were over the limit on a number of clubs. That's why we found a whole bunch. You ride over with me in my golf cart. Next thing you know, you tell me you're missing some clubs. Nobody's believing you, of course. And then every hole you're like, man, I'd have sworn I had a 5-iron. I'd have sworn I had a 9-iron. And you had clubs in your bag, but you kept saying that. And then on the way back from the club after a couple cocktails, I almost ran over some clubs laying there. And what were they? Yours.
I thought, how strange, because I had just changed golf bags. And so I thought, first I'm like, where's my 5-iron? How did I leave that? And then it was like the 3-wood and then the 7-iron. And I thought, how could I have left that many clubs at home in my old bag? And then it was a little dark when we came back. Fortunately, your way home. So we drove the exact same route, and you stopped the cart, and I saw a Valero Texas Open head cover. And I thought, what are the odds of that? I have one of those. And then I found my 5 and my 7. So he was literally chucking them out the back of his golf cart. Of course.
Yeah.
That's when I knew what kind of competition we were up against.
I'll teach you to lay a bag of clubs sideways on the back of a golf cart. Where do you think those clubs were going to go?
18 clubs. You had to get rid of 4.
That's right. He was illegal the whole time once we counted the clubs. So there you go. That's why we have to watch.
Tell yourself that. Yeah. Keep telling yourself that.
Bill, this is what they're trying to do, and this is why I can tell how worried they are about our Ireland trip. That they're going to be counting clubs. They're going to be worried about what hat are they wearing that day? What, is their shirt pressed? Do they have too many golf balls? And we're just going to be relaxed because we know we have the right number of clubs. It doesn't matter if it's 14 or 1 club. I like our chances. And it's going to be probably a bit of a rout over there because Hobson's going to be giving me 3 or 4 strokes, I would think.
I think it's the other way, Chris.
Oh, no. I think you're going to be worrying about your partner getting all his shots and antibiotics after he kisses the Blarney Stone.
Is that a euphemism?
He's going to need all the luck he can get when he gets over there. When he sees that stone, he'll probably be licking it.
Well, and then Bill, don't you think it's a little rude of Chris to hang an Olympic hat behind you when you weren't even part of that round?
Yeah, I thought that was an odd choice, but it's kind of one of those in your face.
I'm focused on my partner.
Yeah. Hey,
we had a great round. That's where we had the hot dogs shaped as, or hamburgers shaped as hot dogs. Remember those things?
Yeah.
Burger dogs. Those are outstanding.
I I did a really good job at getting golf balls stuck in trees there. Those cypress trees are brutal.
They were. Remember that gym before we played there it was called San Francisco Golf Club. We played that one.
Yeah.
There were a couple other gyms that we played. It was just
Harding Park.
Harding Park. Yep.
Yep.
That was great.
Mhm.
Yeah, those
That is
three
a great
clubs right there in a row. Those are that you don't find world top golf clubs that close together very often. And man, that's a wonderful set. And San Francisco Golf Club, there were like us, a dog, a guy in the pro shop, and maybe 2 other people there that day, I think.
What was the one
You're
called
right.
in South San Francisco? It wasn't
Cow Club.
California Club.
Count
Yep.
Club.
They
Yep.
called that was to me that was one of the best. I love that course.
That's
a-
That place, yeah. It's
Steph
great.
Curry's
Yeah.
her, and yeah, that was awesome.
Nobody knows it's there.
Oh,
Only golfers know it's there,
Yeah.
and very few golfers even know exactly where to find it there by the San Francisco airport. And yeah, you're up on the hill there, and very, very welcoming,
Yeah.
nice, low key place. And yeah, we had blaster too. Man, we get around.
yeah. I think that was Alex from McKenzie course. That was nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you're right. There's a number of just incredible golf courses there around the bay, and this is the fun part about all this, isn't it? That we get to relive all these and have a good time and talk about the championships Bill and I have won. And then we usually have a few cocktails afterwards, and you guys are just looking at a bottle of Tito's behind you, but there may be a few drinks that are around here because it turns 5 o'clock a little earlier in Pennsylvania than Texas. So
we've had a couple of them. I mean, we've even played a golf course called Chardonnay now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
not the best. That wasn't the best, but
Tampa. Yeah.
well, it was blowing pretty hard out there. I did see someone in my group take a shot at someone else in another group that he works with. And by that shot, I mean hit a driver and it blew 40 yards across a hole and almost hit him on the head.
I missed that. Yeah.
Chad hit a driver and he may have mishit it just slightly, and Alan was almost on the receiving end of that driver coming down on a different hole.
Oh, I heard about this drive where it was basically so far.
Yeah. I heard that HR may or may not have been called after that. It was, 50-50, but no, that's, that was a fun golf course. The views were incredible there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it in the greatest shape I've ever played, but the greens were in good shape. And, the views, I mean, you don't play through a vineyard very often. So
No.
it's a fun course.
Yeah, there's going to be a new bottle of wine that has a tint of yellow in it because my partner was playing yellow golf balls. Man, did he put them out in the vineyard all the time. So that'll be
We just call him out on here.
Look, me, I wasn't out there.
No, you were working.
Yeah.
So hard. You work so hard, Chris. That's why we have to really, get our muster because we're the working guys.
And from his spa or sauna, he said.
Yeah, he's at his sauna in New York, or he's somewhere in Vegas playing golf. I think he just got back for the first time this year, but maybe a second time this year.
Good timing.
I'm back. I'm ready to go play. It's springtime. Hey, it's great in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, well, Bill, the good news is that by their second shot they'll be where our drives are. So
Yeah, you got that going.
That's
for
never
you.
bothered us. No.
How's it working?
But
I hope you take putts out of the bunkers there, Bill, because otherwise you're in trouble.
I've always got it when I need it.
So
Well,
where are the courses we're going to play in Ireland? Anybody remember a couple of them we're going to go play?
Oh yeah. Well, I think we're starting off at Old Head
We are.
over there in Ireland.
Awesome. If you want to play, you guys haven't played there yet, but
yeah, we're
Ed, man, you got water on the left, water on the right, and the water is about 100 feet below you on both sides, and that's just about every hole. So I think the fish are in trouble over there, Bill.
Hit it straight,
Yeah.
I guess.
That's all. Hit it straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will be our first, Chris's, mine, and also Mike Stepedic's first trip to Ireland. So we talk about it a lot. It's going to be a blast.
Murray,
Chris,
too.
Chris
Murray's
hasn't
been right.
there.
Murray's been looking at the courses online, sending us videos, and
Yeah,
we're so excited.
Yeah. Well, tell him to bring enough euros, for the bets.
I thought you were going to say for the fish and chips, but the bets was fine.
That too.
Okay.
Yeah, and a pint.
And the Guinness.
Yeah, pint of Guinness. But yeah, you were saying at Old Head, that was one that I remember that the tips on 18 are back. You have to hit over the ocean, basically, to get to the hole, and it's like 250 yards of carry to get to the fairway. So I'm thinking that we all play the tips, Bill. What do you think?
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll all play the tips.
Well,
And we'll see
do you get 100 yards before you enter the ocean? So at least you get 100.
Yeah, you get like 50 yards. Yards.
Yeah, the wind's coming off the ocean, so it kind of blows it back onto the fairway, you hope.
But that'll be a fun one. We're playing Ballybunion, which is an awesome course over there. I think, is Waterville on the list too?
Waterville, Port Marnock is on there.
Mhm.
Both.
Look at Scott.
Yep. And Tralee.
Chosen.
Yeah.
We looked at the top like 100 list, whatever, and it was amazing how many of those courses were on the list. So
Yeah, it's gonna be a special trip. We're gonna, I'm sure, make some more great memories. Might need another episode to go over those, and maybe a few details of what happens at night, depending on what happens. But it should be a fantastic time over there. What else you guys got? Anything else you're thinking that we missed here?
It's probably something you guys get asked all the time, but is there such a thing as a favorite of the top 100 you guys played? Is there a favorite, or is that an impossible question?
Go ahead, Chris.
I think that my dad and I usually, if you just have to answer what's your favorite, is Augusta, because so few people have played it, number one, to experience it. It's hard to describe how special it is, because we get to stay there and play a place where they got the master scoreboards up, and it's really hallowed ground. But when you take Augusta out, there's a lot of really awesome courses out there. Cypress Point is always near the top. I mean, 14 through 17, I say, is probably the best stretch of golf that there is, in terms of just views and some of the holes. I mean, two of the hardest par threes that you'll play, and best par threes. You've got Royal County Down over in Ireland, Ballybunion, some of the courses in Japan like Hirono. And I think that's the most fun part for us is, we played some really great courses, and they're all a little bit different. And, that's really special about golf. You can't say that about really any other sport. That you play a tennis court, maybe it's a different surface, but it's a tennis court. Right. You play a basketball court, it's maybe inside or outside, but it's a basketball court. But golf, they can be right next to each other, like we were talking about with Olympic Club and San Francisco Golf Club and Harding Park and some of these others. It's like they're all completely different golf clubs. They have different features. They, are long or short, or, have a lot of movement right to left or don't, cypress trees, no cypress trees. So to me, there isn't an all-out favorite, but Augusta is hard to beat.
Sort of like playing basketball on Cameron indoor stadium floor.
I have done that too.
There's no way we're getting through this without hearing that.
But we'll, if there's nothing else, you guys.
Wait a minute. We're gonna see Mr. Hobson, Mr. Stein. We're gonna see you at Pinehurst shortly.
We will.
I'm not making Pinehurst.
I'll see you at both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do both. Then we got a caves coming up shortly.
We have Caves coming up very soon. We have, Bill, the one that, he's got time off to go play golf a little bit more, Mr. Hobson, but I'm going to take some time off. We're going to play Pinehurst number 2 in a couple of weeks, and that's a favorite because that's where we started this quest. Pinehurst.
It is.
Right after the U.S. Open, 2 days after, and now we're going to be playing it about 3 weeks before the Open. So that's kind of going to be reliving a little bit of history, and that course has been rebuilt since we played it the first time, and still love going down there. What a wonderful spot!
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned, Dad, what the first course we played was. So I like to do a little trivia question here before we sign off. So, what country was the first international trip that we took the top 100 courses on? So where do we play our first international top 100?
I would say, did they do Nova Scotia?
You're not saying with us.
You're saying you guys, right?
Just in general. See, I'm throwing it out there. See if you guys can guess which was our first one. And I'll tell you what year it was. It was 2007.
2007. I'm going to go, I think it's somewhere in the Africa. I'm going to say Mexico.
Nope.
Take a guess, Bill. Hello, Bill.
I'm here. I'll just go with Africa.
Okay.
Hey, I'll give you a hint. Where the heck are we going in September?
Oh,
really? Okay.
Really?
I tried to make it tie in somehow. Come on, guys. That was my first one with my dad. International golf. It was right after high school, and we went over there and played. And so I've only played, I think, like one other time over there. Was like one round, and I didn't even have my golf clubs. So I'm looking forward to this trip because my golf game's changed a little bit since I was 18 years old. I'm 19 now, so
you hit it farther.
Yeah, plus a few. But no, it's Ireland's a special place, and we're gonna have a great time over there. So we're looking forward to that. But we'll see you guys a couple times before, and not together, I guess, because you guys aren't coming to Caves together. You're doing it a little separately, but
Divide and Conquer is our style this summer. So
okay, fair enough. But we're looking forward to it. So we appreciate you guys being on the golf quest. This is a special thing for us to do with all our friends and people we've had a lot of great time with on the golf course. So thank you. And
thank you guys. It's been awesome.
Happy to be part of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
All the years, all the memories. You guys are special. You're right up there at the top with us of all the stories, different courses, different countries, different weather.
Multiple championships for me and Bill.
Yeah. So, Mr. Hobson, maybe we'll do another one of these, and we'll just show them the trophy that we still have because I think they have it.
All the listeners are going to want to see the next podcast post the Ireland trip for sure.
there may need to be a follow-up to this.
The new trophy might be an empty bottle of Irish whiskey. I'm not sure, but we'll come up with a new trophy for that trip.
We may be able to pull off in Ireland. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
You never know. Podcasts can travel. So, listeners, stay tuned. And this is the Golf Quest. Thanks to Chris and Bill for being here today. And we'll sign off. So,
ciao, guys.
See you guys soon.
Great being with you, as always. Hit them straight, Bill. Chris, we got them next time. All right. See ya.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. We'll see you next time on
The Golf Quest.